a warning?
There ain't nothing to worry about.
I'm worried that you work in an office, have children, celebrate wedding anniversaries. The world of heterosexual is a sick and boring life.
For 100 years, he has wandered the halls of Whipstaff Manor, hoping for a friend. The wait is over.
Man!
Now, get ready. For a wondrous ride to the other side.
You guys are disgusting, obnoxious weeks.
Thank you. Universal Pictures and Amblin Entertainment invite you to discover the secrets,
Hurry up, come on!
the surprises, and the spirit
Casper, this is beautiful. I'm gonna be alive.
Welcome back to the show, listeners.
Welcome back. It's our first episode of May.
It is. Oh my goodness.
We have a good summer movie. Anniversary 2.
Okay. All right. This little girl has been on my brain recently because of some TV antics that she's been in. But listeners, I hope you're ready. We've got a fun one for you. My name's Pete.
And I'm Scott, and these are the movies that made us gay. Michael Valvo, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We did a podcast a few months ago about Being the Ricardos. Friend of the pod, Jordan, we went on his Lucy podcast to talk about Being the Ricardos, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to have you on our show to talk about something.
Thank you. That was a fun one, too, to talk about that movie, because that movie doesn't get a lot to talk about, so it was good to have that conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like, not to be like shady or anything, but I feel like that movie kind of came and went.
I blame streaming.
Yeah,
I blame streaming movies.
It did.
The culture of streaming movies, they just come and go. But I think maybe underrated is not the right word, but maybe it doesn't get its flowers as much as it should. Being the Ricardos,
I think that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I totally agree. Had it not come out like at the tail end of the pandemic like that, I think we would have had some more time with it, I guess you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. Listeners, if you want to listen to these two gab a little bit more about that, you can go listen to the Lucy podcast.
Just hear me talk about Nicole Kidman for an hour and a half. Yep.
Exactly.
Which I will gladly do. So I gave you just kind of your choice. What did you want to come on for? And you gave me a list of movies, and Casper is the one that stood out, mainly because it is going on its 30-year anniversary this month. This was released May 26, 1995.
30 years.
We have been with this movie for 30 years, so I think that we're roughly around the same age. So we both grew up with this in heavy rotation. So I kind of had to take this one as the movie. So it's like, what a fun opportunity to talk about this batshit movie that when you revisit it now, you're like, oh my God, this movie is it quite possibly one of the weirdest family movies ever to come out of the 90s, probably.
I think so. It's bizarre, but it had a lot of firsts in terms of just like with the CGI animation and things, with the with the special effects. Like, this movie had a lot for 30 years, and there's a part of me that's just like 30 years, 3 decades of Casper. Like that. Let that sink in. I saw
this movie twice in the movie theater as a kid. I saw it twice.
Wow.
I saw it during its initial run in summer of 1995, and then I saw it when it came back for our winter matinees in our small town. I always talk about it on our show that our town was so podunk that we had winter matinees for elementary school and junior high kids that you could buy a book of movie tickets, that you got the schedule beforehand of all of these movies that were kind of second run. Like, these are kind of movies that would be probably shown in a dollar movie theater somewhere. And they released the whole schedule, and you bought the book for maybe $25 at the front office of the school. And you saw the lineup right when you were waiting in line to go for lunch. Like, I always remember looking at the winter matinee movies.
That is so cool. I had nothing like that. I wish we did. But the fact that it was $25 for the whole book. Now, here, I live in New York. That's what we pay to watch one movie at the AMC is $25 for an adult ticket. That's Absolutely. Oh, it's wild.
And our small town theater, the Judith, only did evening shows. So they only had special showings of stuff that would be in the afternoon at like 1 o'clock.
Like the matinees were like special kid showings.
But yeah, that's definitely not the case now. I think that they show movies all day. But back when I was a kid, it was the 8 p.m. show.
And so you saw this twice?
I saw this twice.
In the theater?
In the theater.
Wow.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your earliest memories from 30 years ago about this movie.
So, my earliest memory. So I did not get to see this in theaters, but I was obsessed with just watching the promos for it. And, you'd watch TV as a kid, Nickelodeon, all of that. You would see the trailers. And I was so excited for it. And I just didn't get a chance to see it in theaters. But my aunt and uncle, they gave me the VHS of it for Christmas when it came out. I mean, probably a year after because, it took longer for videos to come out back in the day. And I could not get enough of that movie.
I used to watch this a lot on VHS. Yep.
On VHS. And I had Casper merchandise too. Like I had do you remember when they came out with like sticker books in the mid-90s for movies?
Of course. Yes. I was always kind of an anxious child that I never really liked sticker books because I don't like using stickers. I've gotten better at it now with like my Yeti. I do put stickers on it, but I was one of those kids that I didn't want to waste any of those stickers. So I was very particular of where I put stuff like that as a kid.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yep. I loved the sticker books as a kid. Just a gay thing to love are sticker books, right? Same. So the Casper sticker book was sacred to me. I had the pencils. I had the pencil case. I had all of this Casper merchandise even before seeing the movie.
The puppets
and then it's
from
just
Pizza Hut
amplified when I saw it.
I definitely remember the puppets from Pizza Hut.
Yes. Oh, they were like, I think it was like $1.99 and they glow in the dark. I had
only
those.
A 5-year-old's hand could fit in those puppets. They were so small.
They were so small. They were better off as just like a large figure than as a puppet. They didn't do anything,
Yeah. But yeah, I remember this movie getting a lot of promotion at this time.
Had a ton
it was
of promotion.
Everywhere on Kid TV.
Yeah, and I think, of course, too, being that it was with Christina Ricci, who I think is an icon for us gays. Let's be honest. We all wanted to be her growing up. I did. She was Wednesday Addams. She was with Cher. I mean, like she was everything. So I think, because of her, that's a big part of the marketing behind it. They just had one of the biggest child stars of the time in this movie.
Child stars from movies, darling. Like, she did not come from television, too.
Right.
No, she didn't.
Is that even something that you even see anymore with child actors? Of just a child actor that is just known for movies?
Yeah, I can't really think of someone.
I don't know.
That was more of that.
I do want to talk a little bit about Christina's like cool girl mystique that she had at the time. She definitely had some cachet as far as like being of a certain age, being aspirational, like you said, of like little gay boys, and I would assume girls.
I'm sure.
I want to be.
I want to be her best friend.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to be your best friend.
Yeah. And, obviously Wednesday has a lot to do with that, but there's just, she just has this air about her in these movies. But, and we'll talk about it as we move on. But, there's a whole idea of Christina kind of wanting to maybe branch out from the kid movies and not being super on board with Casper after the fact.
I think she's a little more critical of her performance in this movie. I think that she talked about it on Mark Maron's podcast.
Which who wouldn't be critical
I get
of a performance
of course.
15
Everyone's critical when you look back at photo books of you when you're in junior high. Yeah.
Because she had to be probably 13, maybe 14 at the oldest. I'm not sure, but I know that what I've read and what I've listened to with interviews, she's not a fan of this movie or her work in it, and she just she doesn't get the best feeling watching it, whereas all of us are like, what are you talking about?
We're queen.
So I just want to say that in 1995 I graduated high school.
Are you telling me that you were not going to see Casper?
But let me tell you this much. I graduated early. I was 17. So I am around Devon Sawa's age. I feel like he was probably 16 when he shot this movie. 16.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was a little older.
But, I was at a point where, I was still watching kid movies at this point in my life, but I was also...
You had little brothers, too.
Yeah, and I had little brothers who were watching kid movies.
Sure.
But they were two very straight boys, so I feel like they were maybe not super into Casper. They were kind of in their Power Rangers era at this time, but
sure.
I was kind of leaning more towards my Captain Janeway era in '95. So I didn't get to this movie for a long time. I did have a love and appreciation for one Bill Pullman.
Don't we all?
Oh, yeah. Everyone's favorite dad.
Yeah.
He was in everything.
Oh.
In this time. He did Newsies. He was like the dad figure in that, so to speak. He was everywhere.
Yes. And I feel like I even had a passing knowledge of Cathy Moriarty.
This would have been my introduction to Cathy Moriarty. And obsessed. Yeah. We'll get into her later, but obsessed.
Yeah. Absolutely. This was my introduction to her for sure.
Carrigan Crittenden, the icon.
Is. She's underappreciated. I think she's underappreciated. I do.
She really is. I love a French tip nail and a severe bob just because of
that bob and the power suits. Oh my god! And that Jeep. It's so funny.
And a smoker voice. You gotta, everything about her is just icon. But yeah,
it really is.
It took me a minute to come around to this movie because I did feel like it was a little maybe kiddie for me. But I did love Christina Ricci and her work. I was obsessed with the Addams Family. When it came out. And I knew she was a couple years younger than me, but yeah, I did appreciate the kind of cool factor that she brought to it. I know she's Wednesday Addams, right? And we cannot take that away from her. But looking back at this movie, I'm just like, she just kind of has like a center part. Like she's just wearing cardigans. She's not. What's her character's name? Forgive me.
Kat.
Yeah,
obviously. Short for Cathy.
Short for Cathy is not exactly giving style. She's not exactly giving. You know what I mean? They don't.
Oh yeah, not at all. It's a very big departure.
Yeah. So I think Christina does a lot as an actor to bring this coolness to it, but as a kid, you're just like, we have knowledge that it's Christina Ricci and she's cool girl goals, but just watching it without that knowledge, you're just like, okay, she's just an average little girl.
Yeah, she's just kind of like 12-year-old, little kind of generic, if you will, nothing outlandish about her. You couldn't pick her out from a crowd of that age,
right? Right. And then I was asking Scott as we're watching this. Now and Then is after this movie, correct?
I can't remember. Is Now and Then 95 or is it 96?
I think it's also 95. I think they're both 30 years.
I feel like she
did them back to back.
She seems so much older in something like Now and Then, and maybe that's just with styling too. That she's kind of playing more the tomboy character, so maybe she just reads a little older for that movie.
I think they definitely shot this first because in the few moments that he has on screen, Devon Sawa looks like a baby.
Looks like a child.
Well, he does. He does. But of course, watching that as a kid, and rewinding that part over and over, you're just like, why do I like this so much? I just don't get it. And that song, I love the song. What's happening? It all kind of
No, that was a lot.
happened.
Yeah,
there was a lot going on.
Perfect little soup of our brains at the time.
Oh, yeah. And also the fact that Christina Ricci had Devon Sawa in back-to-back movies like that. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Lucky.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Devon Sawa get naked in Now and Then too?
He does. They all do.
They all do.
Or all the
crazy
the brothers. Yeah.
From another time.
Clothes. Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't get over that now. But
just wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
But being adolescent boys at that time, seeing Devon Sawa on screen, we were very much like, who is this? And when can we get more of him?
Yeah, we were. It was that we were all like, "What? What does this mean? What is going on? I don't get it, but I love it. Is somebody watching me watch this? Do they see what I'm seeing? It's all of that.
Yeah. And listen, not for nothing, Devon Sawa now in that Chucky show.
I think that he looks kind of better, older, and gristled. I kind of like that he looks his age.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, he looks fantastic in that Chucky series.
Was just in Hard Eyes. If you saw Hard Eyes this year,
I've heard of it, have not seen it.
I
though.
didn't see it. Scott saw it without me. Huh. But it's like that. It's like that Zac Efron meme that like he aged with our tastes in men.
Yeah.
We're like, okay,
Yes, it's exactly what it is. He's the perfect example, a better example, if you ask me. But because you see him now when he does Chucky and with his shirt off and everything, and it's just. Oh my God! He's just chiseled, chiseled Canadian.
Are either of you two familiar with the voiceover actor for Casper?
I don't know that he did much after this.
I think that he did do voiceover
Malachi Pearson,
as a
I believe
child.
is his name.
Yeah, Malachi Pearson.
But I'm sure that that one did have some jealousy of, I put in the most work for this movie, and all of you girls are just walking away with the kid that was only on set for one day.
Yeah, literally. They flew him in for a day shoot for that. Absolutely. And this kid spent months in the booth recording this, and no one had. I mean, I don't know what he looks like. I never knew then. I don't know now. But I don't know if he ever did any more voiceover work or if this was just a one-off thing. Like, I have no clue.
He has a couple of credits, not too many, but I mean, it has tones of Thackeray Binks in Hocus Pocus.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
With our pal Jason Marsden, who was a great-looking kid, also a great-looking adult. But they chose to go in a different direction. But they just really like the voice work, which is interesting choices.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so we got to go back to the beginning with this movie because there's a lot going on here.
Directed by Brad
Silberling.
Written by Sherry Stoner and Deanna Oliver, based on Casper the Friendly Ghost from the Harvey comics, released May 26, 1995. These writers I saw this afternoon were showrunners of the Animaniacs, so I think that was sort of the Spielberg connection when he was developing this movie, that he was doing a lot of kid television at the time, and he pulled these two women from Animaniacs.
Interesting.
And I think this is featured debut of Brad Silberling. I think that
it is.
I think he had just done television at this time. And were you reading that Alex Proyas from The Crow apparently almost directed this movie? I think they were pretty late in pre-production when they replaced him.
They were so late in pre-production. That is why Whipstaff Manor looks the way it does.
Sure.
That was all Alex Proyas.
It was all signed off by him.
He was the one.
Sad.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I wanted to live there. I wanted to live in Whipstaff Manor.
It's insane.
I still do.
He left the movie for creative differences with the screenplay and that he wanted to do a darker children's fantasy, but I would argue there's a lot of
pretty dark children's
shit in this movie.
I was just going to say, there's a lot in this movie to begin with. Like, how much darker do you want it to be, for kids?
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see if when he was doing it, if it still had this Lazarus machine. I would imagine that it did. Because I would think that if they lost the director that late in pre-production, that this is more or less the script that he was probably going to do with some minor tweaking.
I agree. And especially if they had the set, mostly built for that and all the, because that's pretty impressive for 1995. And, with it coming out from the water and everything like that had to have been, I think he would have been part of that decision and built.
Just looking at those stages for
massive,
the main entryway of Whipstaff Manor, the big grand ballroom, and then the underground cavern. With the Lazarus machine. Those are huge.
These are probably the biggest sound stages at Universal.
Yeah.
They gotta be. They've got to be because it's so intense with everything they do. And the Up and Atom machine, like building that whole track and everything, that's no easy feat. Yeah. It's really cool.
I do want to take a little bit of time to talk about Whipstaff Manor and this very Gaudi inspired
well, because it's not a traditional haunted house that you would see in an episode of Scooby-Doo or even old shorts of Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Right. It's like I said, it's it's very clearly Gaudi inspired. It looks like this old Spanish cathedral with these organic flowing, lines everywhere. I cannot get over I guess it's Casper's room because I was going to say Kat's bedroom, but I guess it's Casper's bedroom. The swirl ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It's so cool.
Yeah. I would have pushed my sister in front of a moving train to get that room. I'd be like, okay, choose rooms now. Okay, she's
out.
She's
And
out
then-
back.
And the cute little like step up to get into the room too.
Yeah.
How like the whole entrance of it, everything. Like it just like for me, and I would think many other little gay children watching, we wanted that bedroom and the stained glass windows.
There's
and,
like a widow's walk balcony.
And
it's fabulous.
And then you see the exterior of it in the wide shots, and it's open and it's on this cliff. But there's like these turrets and spires, and you're just like, what's in there? What goes on in those rooms? Like, why don't they show us that?
I wish they did.
I wish they
Maybe
showed
they.
us.
Who knows? I know that not everything. That they filmed made it into the movie. So maybe there's some things that they built that we never got to see. Who knows?
Yeah, totally. But I mean, the design is bonkers. But it's really effective the way that what they built. What they kind of show, and I think the exteriors of the whole house on the cliff, I think that's all CG modeling.
I think so too, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's great.
And I think it still holds up. You watch movies today, of course, and the technology's just changed everything. But I still look at this with the same wonderment, and it's still, I still find the magic in it. I do.
It's interesting because a lot of movies from those like early CG days, they were doing things where they were just like, well, I guess we'll just do it this way. And now when we watch it back, we're like, oh, that looks kind of funny, right? And I'm thinking, what's the Catherine Zeta-Jones and Owen Wilson, The Haunting?
The Haunting.
There's a lot of questionable CG in The Haunting.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah.
And you watch it with modern eyes and we're like, oh, that looks dated. That looks dated. And
of course.
And yes, the cartoon ghosts in this are cartoon but I don't know, I think the fact that they are so rooted in like this is a cartoon, we kind of with our more sophisticated like movie watching eyes, maybe we're giving it a pass and we're just like, shit, this looks good. Like
it might be,
would it look all that different if you did Casper now of
think it
this animation
dated.
Right. I mean, I think it might just be sharper perhaps, but I feel like it would still be a lot of the same principles, in terms of the design. I mean, just how incredible the one scene where Casper and Kat, they do the touching hand things, and he goes through her hand, like that still looks incredible
in every TV spot.
Yeah, it was in every TV spot. I think, it's one of the images that define the movie. Like it shows friendship, it shows love. Like it's very cool. I think.
So I think the effects really hold up surprisingly well for a movie from 1995 with CG.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the minor Spielberg involvement, but they just ILM.
I'm assuming this is ILM.
It is,
right?
It was Industrial Magic.
Yes.
So they did a great job.
We just began the ILM documentary. Pete has watched it. I have not.
I've not watched it. But I'd be into it.
It's really fun.
Do they go into Casper at all?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't think so. I don't think they go into it too much, but I don't.
Minor hit of the ILM filmography
canon. So okay, let's break down some of these characters because we have to really get into some of these like icons here.
Oh yeah, because it's filled with them. It really is.
It really is. It's kind of like wow, they got a lot of really good character actors.
Yeah, they did
for this movie.
Well, especially someone like Cathy Moriarty, even though she Oscar nominated for Raging Bull, she's so good in that movie. But I would say that Cathy Moriarty's career has always hovered a little under the A-list. Like she never quite made it to Kathleen Turner territory, even though you could see them both in like casting like headshots. Like if you were laying them out on a table, you would see both of them probably talked about for the same role. But I remember just being obsessed with her performance in this movie. I still can finish all of her dialogue of all of her scenes. Like I know this movie that well and her scenes because they were always my favorite. But Flipper made more money than me.
Dips, this is all your fault. As usual, if you would have just forged the damn will.
Carrigan, this is condemned seafront property.
Dips, don't you get it? Flipper got more money than me.
Carrigan, the deed's in there.
Buccaneers and buried gold, whipstaff doth a treasure hold. Treasure?
Carrigan, I think I need a doctor.
Oh, there's plenty of names.
So good.
I wrote that line down too. It's so good. And in that smoky voice that she does it with, and the tossing of the deed in the fireplace, like it's so good. It's just
so
the layers.
deliciously camp.
I love it.
You know,
What was that?
It's so deliciously camp.
Yes, it is. In the best way. In the best way.
Yeah. You know, I'm watching it as an adult viewer, and I'm like,
of course.
And I'm like, listen, lady, like this house on this cliff is, you know, that's nothing to scoff at.
Well, Eric Idle mentioned about the property value in these opening scenes. Right. Yeah.
And he says like seaside, you know, what is it? It's condemned.
Right. But a seaside property, hello, that's still money. Yeah, that's still money, you know. But I love. Oh, what is one of the other? I wrote down one of the other. The Dyslexic Dalmatian Foundation got more money. Like some of these names in where the money went to is so funny. But that one is my favorite. Dyslexic Dalmatian.
Yeah, absolutely, too much. I mean, you know, we have to take this with a grain of salt. But the list of other actresses considered for Carrigan Crittenden. Some of them are a little wacko, and it's like, of course they're gonna say no. Sigourney Weaver, Michelle Pfeiffer, Nicole Kidman, Sandra Bullock. But some of these, I'm like, listen, I wouldn't mind Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly could have been really fun in this role.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
I think that would have been fun.
Yeah.
I also think, I don't know if she's on this list, but I could see Joan Cusack having a blast with this.
Yep.
Yes.
I can see that,
She's not on here, but I see Jamie Lee Curtis, who I think would be fun doing this. I think she could really kind of like dig into that.
Siggy Weaver.
Yeah. Carrie Fisher, Kathy and Jimmy.
Debbie Mazar.
Yeah.
Debbie Mazar. Oh, she was such a bitch in Beethoven's Second. Oh, I hated her. Hated her in that. Yeah. She made me so mad, but she could have done it.
She could have done it. Heather Locklear, interesting. I don't know how
limited movies, but I mean, this would have been height of Melrose Place, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I can see it for the sake of the time, her name on this list. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, she was playing kind of a bitchy role in Melrose Place. So I guess if she just amped it up a bit. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's just something about Carrigan Crittenden as portrayed.
What a character name too.
I know that
so
name
ridiculous.
Who came up with that? Carrigan Crittenden. Like, just it's a mouthful.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
And then of course you have Eric Idle as her, you know, like as her sidekick. Like that's
I love a sidekick that's just your lawyer too.
Yeah.
I know.
Dibs.
This is her lawyer, and it's a sidekick. That's
just
so
your lawyer
bizarre.
that just follows you around. Like what? Like the amount of shit that this guy is putting up with her.
Yeah,
she must be paying him pretty well.
Gotta be. And it's like, you know, it's almost like he's a lawyer, but like her assistant, kind of. Like what a weird dynamic between the two of them.
Yeah, this lackey. What does she say? He sees the sign, and she says, like, you know what that means? She's gonna get wet.
Oh yeah,
I think you're gonna get wet.
I think you're.
I said that to you this afternoon.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh my god, too much. But yeah, he's like thrusting his hands into the fireplace, like, you know.
Yeah,
but that
and risk his skin for her, literally.
That informs just how crazy of a character she is. That is literally the deed to the mansion that you just inherited that she threw into the fireplace. Okay.
Stupid.
So we're setting up. She's crazy. She's legit.
She's
out
crazy.
Of her mind.
And then also, even just the reading of the will thing and having Ben Stein.
Yeah.
And Ben Stein was everywhere at this time. You know what I mean? And like, he was in every commercial doing like the Clear Eyes. He had this game show. Like, he did everything. Yeah. He really did.
This is height of Ben Stein's power in like 95. So, okay, I want to talk about Bill Pullman and
the character's introduction of this movie of how 90s does it get that you're introduced to both Bill Pullman and Christina Ricci in a segment on Hard Copy.
Hard Copy. Oh my god!
I remember watching Hard Copy, even though I kind of felt like, oh, maybe I should be turning this off if an adult walks in the room.
Right.
As I'm watching this tabloid show.
Kid. You're right. Yeah. Because we knew not to watch Hard Copy. Like, I knew it was on, but it was like, you're not allowed to watch that. But the way that they did it, you know, it's, I don't know, you felt cool as a kid being able to watch that, even though the whole thing's scripted.
Hard Copy harassing minors outside of their school. too.
Oh my God, that's wild.
Yeah.
He's my father. Like, it's just so bizarre. That would never happen today. I don't think that happened then.
I'm like, she
Crazy.
is a child. She is a minor. Why is she talking to them? Oh my God.
I know.
Okay, so the idea is that he has this like, what is it? Like a ghost hunting?
What do they call him?
Like,
He's a paranormal psychologist.
Yeah,
right?
and that he's a therapist to the ghosts, essentially. Yeah, they call him that, but they break it down as therapist for ghosts. Yeah.
but ultimately, is he like a charlatan? Because when
he's a con artist.
He's a con artist.
It does feel like that. Yeah, going from town to town, taking these old ladies' money, because like they interview that one woman, and she said when Harvey left, he was smiling. Like, what? That's so, he's just taking money.
Yeah,
he's taking money from old sweet ladies.
Ultimately, when he does find out that Casper is real, he freaks out.
Yeah.
Yes, because why would he freak out in that way? Like, he loses it. And, it doesn't make sense. Why would he lose his mind over seeing this ghost?
It's not like he actually... I found that to be an interesting kind of character point, because we're like, this is the main character's dad. We're supposed to like these people. We're supposed to like her.
I mean, maybe social service should be called.
Yeah.
If you're dragging this poor girl from town to town.
How many schools and how many years did she say she went to? How many
I think she
cafeterias?
said 9 schools in 2 years, and she just wants to stay long enough to make a friend. I mean, a lot. That's a lot.
And then there's that moment where she says, you're not going to find her. So she's fully onto him of that. I see what you're doing, trying to find my dead mom, but
right, like
it's not going to work.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
if
she says that, doesn't she mean that like he's kind of has some way of like looking for ghosts? I don't know.
I mean, in that hard copy thing, they show him like with a crystal, and he's like doing his like mystifying thing over it. It's like, is that part of it? What's the deal? That's the only time we like see him like in practice mode, I guess you could say.
Right. I mean, again, this is a kids movie, so maybe we just got to take all this with like.
We just kind of have to give it a pass.
Oh, sure, but
we
you
just
can't
have to get them to the mansion
now with. Right, with adult eyes being like, now wait a minute. That's also half the fun of revisiting these films.
Oh, totally.
I mean, part of half the fun of revisiting this movie, there's that scene of Carrigan when she's in the hotel room over the phone, and I just love her talking to the operator, get me Santa Fe. Anyone in Santa Fe.
And she says it so like... kind of, I don't want to say romantically, but she has a sweetness to it. Get me Santa Fe. Yeah. Like, it's just, after she goes on bitching about wanting rum raisin and a Diet Coke, it's just such a switch.
We actually had to Google.
We had to do a deep dive on rum raisin.
Does rum raisin still exist? And
I don't know. Does it?
So I looked it up, and the only thing I got was links to buying it on Amazon, but ice cream through Amazon sounds...
That sounds a little sus.
Questionable.
Yeah, I would not. That sounds...
But it was Haagen-Dazs. So I don't know.
Rum raisin, I came to the conclusion, is either delicious or it's terrible. I don't know if there's anywhere in between that.
It sounds cursed to me. Raisins? Raisins
I'm not into it.
Cream?
The sound of it alone, I'm like that. As a kid, that sounded awful. Yeah. Today, it still sounds awful. I don't want that. Yeah. No.
I think, is it just like to telegraph that she is an adult, like this is a grown-up ice cream, but she still likes to be decadent.
Yeah.
Oh, that could, I mean, because as a kid, we certainly wouldn't go near that flavor. No. It just doesn't sound good. Yeah. So I can see that as being like an adult thing. Yeah.
And maybe coffee, I don't know, coffee. I liked coffee ice cream as a kid. You didn't, Scott.
No, I never liked coffee ice cream, but it was always in our fridge as a kid, though. Yeah, and I never liked it.
And it does have caffeine in it.
And I love coffee. I'm drinking a cup of coffee right now.
Yep, I got my coffee too.
That's funny. Yeah, it's so interesting, like adult desserts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is not And also that hotel room, by the way, oh my God, it was so ugly.
It was bad.
It
was bad.
So ugly.
Like,
I mean, 90s, but that thing was hideous.
Yeah.
What a nightmare of a place.
Fish. I hate fish. Is there anywhere more romantic for a setting of a movie than Friendship, Maine? There's always just something about movies set in Maine.
Yes,
That
or
always
like that
does it
New
for me.
England area,
New England,
Connecticut, all of that. Like it always looks
Vermont.
beautiful.
Yes.
It
Lends
really
itself to
does. Like
film really
I
well.
still want to go there. I want to see the foliage.
As someone who grew up on the West Coast
Mm-hmm.
in Los Angeles, whenever I would see Vermont, I would watch Newhart, which was set at a bed and breakfast in Vermont,
Yeah. Mhm.
and Who's the Boss, which was set at this like mansion that they lived in Connecticut.
Right.
So to me, I was like, Vermont, Connecticut, that whole New England aesthetic. I was just like, those are not my people whatsoever.
Yeah, that was fantasy for
Yes,
you.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah, but I was just like, what a life to just like wear sweaters and not just be uncomfortably hot.
And those chunky 80s sweaters
Yes,
too. I
yeah.
mean, oh
Cable
wow.
knit, just cable knit everywhere, and and just
Yes.
jumping in piles of leaves. Just very like peanuts.
I think that some of
Great
the
pumpkin waltz
friendship
playing in the
main
background.
scenes are shot at the Universal backlot too.
Oh, okay,
So
Oh, I
they do
think
kind
so.
of have that dreamy backlot quality about them, which I love.
sure, yeah,
Yeah, they did do some filming in Maine. I like in the
Yeah.
real friendship Maine from what I read, but I think
Is there
the
real?
fight scenes. Say it again.
Is there real friendship Maine?
From what I found, yeah, there is
I
a
read
real
that.
friendship Maine.
I like that too.
But they didn't do much filming there. Just a couple of things, but that was it. But I think, like, for example, the bike scene where Kat's riding her bike to school and
Yeah.
she sees Amber and Vic, like that all looks backlot to me.
yeah.
Amber and Vic, I think those two did the rounds
Mm-hmm.
in the 90s for children TV and movies.
They did. Well, the guy Vic, that actor, he did the Mighty Ducks
Yeah,
movie.
he was in the Mighty Ducks. Yep.
And that's what I recognized him from the most.
Yeah.
I can't.
She was in Milk
I can't remember
Money.
what else.
She was in Milk Money. She's the love interest in Milk Money. That's where I always know her from.
I did not. Okay, I did not know that.
She also
Jessica Weston.
She also did a lot of TV.
I'm sure she's on Boy Meets World.
I remember she was. She had an arc on Home Improvement.
She was the girlfriend.
She was the girlfriend.
That's right.
She
She was
dating- JTT or the older brother?
the older brother.
I think the older
Okay.
brother. Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, I forgot.
Brad.
Brad.
I think Brad. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, she had an arc on that, and that's kind of what I knew her from. But
I'm always very fascinated with these actors that do the rounds. They work a lot as children,
Yeah.
and then they drop off the radar and leave acting as late teens or adults. I'm always
Yeah,
very
it's
fascinated with
interesting.
that.
And just
just-
to know, like, where are they? I'm always curious.
What
to
kind
know
of a
where-
life do they
what-
lead? I hope that they're happy. I hope that being a child actor didn't scar them for life. It probably
Exactly.
did.
Like, I hope they found their happiness doing what they do. Like, I remember. You remember when, like, People magazine back in the day would do those "Where Are They Now" articles of different TV shows and things
it.
like that? I loved that shit as a kid, and I just want versions of that now, just to know what happened to some of these people. I'd love to know.
I know a lot of there was a Mighty Ducks kind of a reboot movie.
Yeah, yeah. They
That
did,
was sort of during the
Disney-
pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did like 2 seasons of it.
Oh, okay.
And
Series.
and this guy, he was part of it. I can't
Oh,
think
great.
of the actor's name off the top of my head, but he was in it.
Okay. Yeah, I know Marguerite Moreau from Hot American Summer. She was the girl in
Garrett Riffliff Henson.
Ratliff.
That is a very like high society name.
Garrett.
What a name!
Garrett Ratliff Henson. All right. No relation.
I don't think so.
No, but yeah, I mean, in Hollywood, that's the first thing you would think. Like
Oh,
Henson, you're like,
he's in the
yeah, yeah.
in the 1990 Captain America movie.
Oh, the really bad one.
Interesting.
He would have been little in that because that's 5 years before this.
I mean, get out
Yeah.
your book your table at a comic book convention, see what you can pull in.
yeah.
I'm telling you, I bet if they did, like a little bit of a Casper reunion at one of these, or like the 90s con, because that I feel like that would be the perfect one, is go to 90s con, do a table there, get some Casper people. Oh my God, I'd be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I would so do it.
Yeah. We have never done 90s con before, but it sounds so
That
much
sounds
fun.
like my type of bullshit. I would love that.
I've never been. And, they have one here. I think they do it in Florida, but I'm closer to the Connecticut one that they do it.
Oh,
But I
okay.
have yet to go. But I think I would just eat it up, and I'd go into some serious debt buying autographs.
I mean, yeah, these like headshots and autographs have to start at around $40 a pop. So it's like,
Oh, easily.
How are you
And
going to
then
make this
depending
worth
on-
it for them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then depending where you're at and how where your career's gone or
Yep.
or didn't go, kind of determines the cost, I guess. But yeah, I think there's money in it for them.
Yeah, and I think there's money lost for me. My wallet would be empty by the time.
That's what I'm saying. Mine would be empty, but it would be so fun.
Yeah.
My heart would be full. It's
Yeah,
fine.
Totally. But I was kind of the character of Vic. I was like, well, he's not really that bad. He's just going along with, what's her name?
Does he deserve to get his at the end of the movie? I kind of think so.
Because he does go along with it.
I have a lot of questions about Amber's plan that we'll get to later.
We'll get
just
to
how
it. But
well thought out any of this was.
Right. But I think you're right in that he got what he deserved because, at that age, you still, right from wrong. You can still make a decision for yourself, even amongst your peers.
Yeah.
But he went along with it,
He told Amber, like, this, what did he say? Like, this bites or whatever. So
he did
like,
say it bites,
it bites,
but he still did it.
Still did it. He could have just been like, screw you, Amber. But he was just, I don't know. He wanted to get some of that, like, middle school second base.
I get it.
Whatever
I love the hair that he has in this movie. People still have that hair now. That style is very in.
Absolutely, yeah. Middle school boyfriends and girlfriends. What did the straight kids do? I don't even know. Well,
couldn't tell you. No idea.
Over the shirt. What's happening?
Do we want to talk a little bit about the meet cute between Kat and Casper? And also, just kind of the setup of this night is kind of out of control. There's a lot happening.
Yes.
In these scenes.
You're talking about
and when you think about it, even the timeline of the movie, it's only like a matter of a couple of days,
And they've only been in the Whipstaff Manor for a mere 30 minutes, maybe?
Yeah.
When she meets Casper?
Yeah.
When he throws the sock at her? Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of wild that, she's there. She's taking her clothes out of that garbage bag.
Yeah. Love it.
And, when your dad's a con artist, you don't have real luggage, so you use garbage bags.
Yeah.
And then it's that stinky sock moment, and it's just like the movie, boom, takes off.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was kind of not shocked by that, but I was kind of like, it gave me a little bit of pause as we were watching it. I was like, this is all happening really quickly. But I mean, it's a 95 minute movie?
It is an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah. We got to get this moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they want to keep kids' attention, so I guess it really does need to move at the lightning pace like that, in order to keep kids with it.
Yeah. But I was just like, oh my God, not the garbage bag full of clothes. But yeah, I think they really kind of like, oh, okay, he's just gonna reveal himself like right now.
Right away.
She's in the room. He doesn't even like
watch her for a little bit, just like, she's here. Oh my God, in my bed. Casper's a horny little thing, first of all.
I think so.
It's been a lot of years in Whipstaff Manor with his uncles.
I guess so. But like, it's just so funny. It's like, Casper, take a minute. Hold on now.
Give it a beat.
Wow, can't do anything.
But I do have to say, the are they his uncles?
Yes,
I would think so.
Yeah, they're his uncles.
I do have to say, the uncles they're a little upsetting. They're a little upsetting to me.
They're strange, and and you look back at it now, and there's a lot of queer coded things going on with Fatso. There's a lot that they throw at that ghost.
Okay, all right.
I want to see Fatso at drag brunch.
I mean, he could be,
his little drag look.
But even the joke of like, "Hey boys, we got a closet case here." It's what?
There's a lot of colorful language in this script that I'm even surprised. I mean, I get that it was kind of the Wild West of family movies in the 90s where you could sometimes get away with a lot of crazy shit. Yeah. But there's some lines in the script that I'm just like, I'm kind of surprised that they ended up actually filming this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or like doing it in
the movie,
in the VO booth.
Crazy. That one, and then when they all get sucked into the vacuum cleaner, the one ghost says, who's got their foot in me or whatever, and Fatso goes, that's not my foot. And you're like, what? What? How did that get in the movie? Like, that's crazy.
All right, so Pete has a photo of Fatso in drag.
With the hair, hair loaf.
I think it's kind of a serve.
Is it giving Eureka?
Is it a little Eureka?
It is kind of, it is very
Proportionizing.
Eureka. Absolutely.
Because it's got like the swirly blonde hair loaf on top. And like,
And with those like Flintstone-sized pearls
huge
that
pearls,
he's wearing,
yeah.
you know,
Too much. And the blue eyeshadow up to the eyebrows, the big garage doors. We love it. It's a great look. Yeah, these pearls are crazy. They're very Wilma Flintstone.
I would give Fatso $1.
I would give Fatso $1.
Yeah.
I'd tip her. Absolutely. And you know, that's a beautiful dress. It's fitted well.
It is.
You know?
Showing some arms. Yeah.
Yeah. And the cleavage, it's there. It's it's just
okay. So
it's quite a look.
Fatso's dress is red. We're going to talk about.
Oh, we'll get into that.
About red dresses later on in this movie. Something about the color red in these ghosts, because Carrigan. I mean, not to jump ahead or spoil it or anything,
right?
But when Carrigan becomes a ghost, yes, she does have her nails, but her nails are red.
Yes.
As a ghost. And Carrigan, when she's alive, has big, long French tips. And they're kind of coffin shaped. They're kind of square shaped. And the ghosts are like pointy red nails. So it's a little bit of a departure, but probably visually.
Red just animated easier.
The bluish.
Yeah.
I bet.
The bluish tone
against the blue.
Their skin, I guess, but the color of the ghosts looks a little bit better. And Fatso in this red dress is just a vision.
I mean, really though, he looks great in it.
I almost wish the hair was red, like an auburn color instead of blonde, because I feel like the blonde hair against the blue.
It's
skin.
that type of blonde that RuPaul has.
Yeah.
That
auburn,
auburn darker shade of blonde. When Ru's not clearly doing the Barbara Bush wig from the last season. Yeah,
right. It is very like it does kind of have that supermodel of the world look to it in terms of the styling of Fatso in drag. Like, and it makes total sense.
Yeah. But, I mean, so Fatso in drag and, like, his little queer-coded... I completely maybe was just looking at something else, but the closet case line...
Yeah.
That flew right past me, this viewing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I must.
I always knew that line from.
I must have been doing some research when that line came up, because that's crazy.
It's crazy, and it's a very like, and it's not like a throwaway line. Like he literally says it like he closes the door and says it right to the camera. I mean, as if he's animated to the camera. Let me say that he's not real,
well,
but like it's very distinct, and I guess they always make jokes for adults in these movies too, to try to keep their interest if they're watching it with their kids. Like I'm guessing that's where it came from, because obviously adults would be in on that.
Yeah.
As a kid, went over my head.
It's also very Animaniacs humor. So that makes sense that when I read that these writers came from Animaniacs. Especially all of Fatso, Stinky, and Stretch. All of that is very Animaniacs.
Yeah.
It is. And now knowing that, because I had no idea until you said that earlier that they were Animaniacs writers, it makes so much sense. And seeing those archetypes and everything, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, totally. Brad Garrett, the voice of Fatso. I think this is his first. Well, I think it's his first voiceover role. I'm not sure if it's his first movie role, but I think it's his first voiceover. He's gone on to do a lot of voice acting because his voice is so distinct, that super deep voice. I was reading. I mean, I know we're all doing our due diligence, reading the IMDb trivia. Absolutely. Doing our due diligence research-wise.
That's 80% of my research for this show.
But, it's interesting. The cameos alone are wild in this movie.
Everybody who had a favor for Amblin and Spielberg were hit up.
Cameos, right?
We're hit up. Yeah. I mean, Clint Eastwood?
So crazy. So crazy.
It's like, do you remember that one time that we were at this party in the Palisades and Mel Gibson, you said you would do a cameo in something that I'm doing? Well, here you go.
Here you go.
Yeah.
It's so like, and then Rodney Dangerfield is in there. Like, this is nuts. Like, these are big names that are part of this kids movie. It's wild.
Yeah. And I read that because each of the uncles had one of those actors cameo as them in the mirror, right? And we had Clint Eastwood, Rodney Dangerfield, and Mel Gibson, who I have to say, when Mel Gibson's face came up, I was like, oh, Mel Gibson in 1995.
Oh, it's 90s Mel.
Oh, it's 90s Mel.
Sexiest man alive.
Where have you been?
Yeah.
Bulletproof with all of our moms at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom loved Mel Gibson.
Give him about 10 more years.
Yeah. But that hair and the smile, I mean, he looked good in it.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like we just have this idea in our head now of this gristled, old, like racist, crazy person.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
and you
angry.
see that flash on the screen for a minute, and that smile, and you're just like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what he did.
Absolutely. That captivated all of our moms in the 90s. You know, I think around that time he was one of the biggest stars. Like, he was everywhere.
Yeah. So, but I read that, like, those incarnations of those celebrities were kind of like indicative of that particular uncle. Like Rodney Dangerfield as Fatso.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
like,
then
Stretch I want to say was Clint. Yeah.
That's what I would think. Yeah.
Interesting.
And
Yes.
Stinky, I guess.
Mel Gibson.
Was Mel. Stinky was a looker.
I guess so. Who'd have thought? But now Mel Gibson is just, more stinky now with his reputation. So there you go.
But also, speaking of the cameos, when Carrigan had, these people come in to vet the house.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And see, I as someone who was a little bit older,
this does exist in the Ghostbusters universe.
Yeah.
Which I want to say that with Harvey Comics and Ghostbusters, I think there was a lawsuit with all of that.
Oh, was there?
Over the name Ghostbusters. And I think that it was eventually thrown out. I think that's where, like, the real Ghostbusters came from.
There was the old Ghostbusters. There was a Ghostbusters kids show in the
animated
70s.
series. Yes.
No, but it was a live action and animated series with the gorilla and all that stuff. Or is that,
right. Okay.
And that was just called Ghostbusters. And it didn't have anything to do with, like,
I think there's
movies.
something from the Harvey Comics about ghostbusting that they ended up taking Warner or Columbia to court over.
Sure.
Okay.
But also, Father Guido Sarducci from Saturday Night Live from the 70s.
Yeah.
So a 25-year-old character at the time is in this movie.
This would have been really for the adults.
That's a kid's movie.
That was for the adults, because that's a deep dive of a cameo. That was a deep dive if you know it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I knew it because I watched reruns of old SNL out here in LA. There was a public access channel based out of Orange County that at night they would show SNL reruns from the 70s, the early seasons. And so that's the only reason I knew that character. Otherwise, even as a teenager,
I only just
90s,
really knew him from this movie.
I wouldn't have known. None of my friends would have known who he was. And so, but this character has his head completely flipped around.
You lost it when you're just like,
is this man dead? Did he die?
Well, and also this is just really putting you into, this is a live action cartoon.
Yeah.
Too.
Yes, because that's a very cartoon.
It's a live action cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's done well. I mean, and whatever he's the ooze or whatever that is, I don't know, but it's still funny.
Yeah. I was just like, did he die? I think he's dead. No, you can't even think about it like that. Just like, whatever,
Right.
Who cares? Because Carrigan and Dibbs are just like, oh, all right. All right, let's bring in the next one.
Good. It's good.
They just have Father and the Ghostbusters.
I think
right?
so.
They just have,
it's just the two in that.
Dan Aykroyd was the only one available.
Yeah.
And then they start bringing in the construction workers to just tear the place down.
We love a wrecking ball.
Yeah, I love a wrecking ball in a movie.
Isn't it so good? And then I love when they start running away and she says, "People, please, you're sweaty male construction types, for Christ's sake." Like, that's gay. That is so gay to say that.
That's sweaty male
I love that
types.
line. It's so funny.
Oh man, I love it. Yeah. Yeah, that's something that just as a kid you're just like, yes, of course, sweaty male construction types.
Sure.
We purchased all of Pee-wee's Playhouse. And even though now it's on Tubi, but there's a couple of scenes. There's one on the Christmas special,
Pee-wee adding the wing,
where he adds
adding the fruitcake.
He adds a wing of the Playhouse made entirely out of fruitcakes, and then there's another scene where Miss Yvonne comes to live with him because something's happening at her house, and she needs movers to move her luggage because it's so overfilled. And each time he has these like really buff shirtless men doing the work. Yes. And as a kid, I don't even think I noticed it as a kid, but now I'm just like, oh my God, Pee-wee.
Oh yeah, no. Now now that we've learned more about Paul himself, now it just like it makes even more sense, But still, it's fascinating.
We're counting down the days to the documentary on HBO Max.
I can't wait. I saw the trailer for it, and it looks incredible.
So good, so good. We've got the big red marker that we're like X every day,
counting down the days.
So I love that.
One of my favorite scenes of this movie that is absolutely wild is the classroom scene. There's just something about the classroom scene that just
isn't.
It's insane.
Like the inmates have taken over. The asylum.
Yes.
Like this teacher has lost all control.
This teacher has lost all control.
All control. What is this putting up to a vote with the Halloween party? My parents would kill me if I was like, "Let's have it at my house."
No,
absolutely not. Yeah. What the hell?
Or just this is some Saved by the Bell shit of this class of maybe 15 kids making a decision for the entire school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
How also
at the
how
very
is
least their entire grade? Which
how
is
is
still too much.
Amber going to have the party on her boathouse? Girl,
that makes no sense.
How big is your boathouse?
Amber got a yacht.
Yeah.
Amber's parents have a yacht. They come from that old Maine money.
Yeah. No, really. Yeah. Sure. She's she ranks high in Friendship, Maine. What are those? But it's crazy that they would have this power. I don't get that.
Yeah. And the teacher and Amber just stands up back to the teacher and just is addressing the class, just like, let's have it at my
and he's
house.
just leaning up against the chalkboard,
like,
just chilling.
Yeah.
What?
And also letting everyone talk mad shit directly to Kat's face.
Yeah.
Not quieting them down, not just like, Amber, that's enough out of you. Let her finish. No.
She's doing the meow bit and everything. She's brutal.
She is. I mean, the other kids too are kind of like, there's a couple more that throw something out there, but Amber's really leading the force with with the cat hate. And it's tough being the new kid, but I guess Casper kind of gives everybody a little
ties all their shoes together.
Yes. That's funny. And I think even during that scene, Vic doesn't chime in on any of that. So I think he really is just dragged along by her because I don't think he makes a comment. Am I wrong?
Yeah, he's not really going in on the like making fun of her or any of that stuff.
Right, or living at Whipstaff and everything. Because that's what shuts them up. Is like, you actually live there? Like they're blown away by this, know? And she's like, yeah, it's kind of cool once you get past all this stuff. And she's right. It is cool.
I mean, fuck yeah. I think a lot of those kids would be like, holy shit, yeah, let's make friends with this one. She's got first of all,
like she's living in the town spook house. Like,
going over after school. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go play freaking Street Fighter at Kat's mansion.
Absolutely. Like, oh my God, this is my chance to finally get in there and see it for myself. Yes, I want to be friends with her. Like, that's my opinion,
Yeah, totally. We don't see Squints ever come back from the beginning of the movie. Squints from Sandlot.
Yeah.
No, we don't. It's just this one. Yeah. We see neither of those kids.
Squints
it's just that one little bit to do the and take the picture.
Yeah,
that's
I'm surprised
not even in the class.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't end up in the classroom or in the dance or anything. That must have been maybe that was a pickup to just kind of show us, to telegraph that this is like the town knows about this place and it's a big
Well, and you have to do your Casper introduction somehow.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's also kind of a holdover from the cartoon show.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
it does kind of help set you up for what you're getting into, and that it's just it's just a funny little bit right in the beginning, because then they go right to the story with Carrigan and just boom, instantly, and we get into that.
Yeah. Scott, you brought up a good point. Casper cartoons.
I remember watching tapes of Casper cartoons, which are old. Like, those would have been probably produced in the 40s or the early 50s. Those probably were attached to movies.
Yeah.
Yes, and a lot of those, I remember having them on VHS as a kid because they were released. They were like part of public domain, so they could put the VHSs
so
out.
You could just pick one up at.
I was gonna say they probably had them at like the 99-cent
Montgomery
store,
Ward, or what's like an old like
Oh yeah,
old department store
Yeah.
that's no longer around.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Woolworths.
could get them,
Yeah.
and they were like $2 a tape or something.
Yes,
You know, it would
yeah.
they were available everywhere. But that's
would
how
be
I
with-
first watched them.
They
Were
would
those
be
tapes?
with like Three Stooges and like Groucho Marx stuff, like really old shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like here in the LA market, Saturday morning cartoons obviously was just like, the first run shows were like what we really wanted. We really were there for, the Smurfs and Care Bears and all of that good stuff. And then like maybe towards the end of the day, they would start with like your Tom and Jerry, like maybe your older things.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah. And that was fun, but it wasn't as...
I always remember late in the day for Saturday morning cartoons, there's always Jack Hanna.
Jack Hanna. Oh, the animal guy?
The animal guy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was always something learning.
Yeah.
Late in the
It
morning.
did go to educational stuff. I mean, here at least it went to Soul Train. When Soul Train came on, I was like, all right, cartoons are over.
It's like, it's over. Yeah.
It was 11 o'clock. You saw Don Cornelius. Sorry, I'm out. But they would show sometimes. They would show like, and I know this kind of has a little bit of a tie-in, but they would show Richie Rich. And I was always like, okay, Richie Rich is a little more low rent for me. I'm all about my Smurfs and my Care Bears and my Thundercats. Richie Rich.
The other Harvey comic that we all knew about was Richie Rich.
Yeah.
It was those two that you knew about. I think, or at least I did.
The Mac movie came out in '94, right?
The Mac live action Richie
Rich.
Yes,
Was that '94?
That came out in '94. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That movie is
I was
also
trying to think of
wild.
other Harvey comic movies at this time, and I guess that those are the only two I can think of.
Those
And
are the only
that
two
was
that
Warner too.
Yeah, and that really got the big screen treatment and had the big names attached to them. Like I think they're the only two because there were plans to do a Casper sequel, but Christina Ricci was like, "No, I'm good," and she was like, "I'm not interested."
Yeah.
I'm
And
making like Buffalo 66 right now in the opposite of sex. I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, "No, thanks," and so it never materialized. I mean, then we got the direct-to-video ones, a few years later. But in terms of like with this story or these characters, yeah, it's just this one.
Okay, interesting. And then there's also the Simpsons joke that Casper is the ghost of Richie Rich.
Oh yeah, you look at the animation style, and it's basically the same thing.
Cartoon little boy.
So close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cathy Moriarty, isn't she in the
She's in the sequel.
the Casper and Wendy? I mean, is it a sequel?
Casper meets Wendy. She's one of the three.
Name a
Shelley
more
Duvall.
iconic trio than Cathy Moriarty, Shelley Duvall, and Terry Garr.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
And that movie's a little.
No,
That's
I felt
questionable.
too old for that.
Yeah.
I
when I
did
would
too.
see it at
Yeah,
the
I
video
mean,
store.
have I seen
Not
it?
for me.
Sure, just
No.
for the sake of like the canon watching them, but it's not. It's not like it's not on a rewatch list for me. I saw it.
Sure,
The end.
Sure. It looks like the New Kids on the Block animated series.
I remember the New Kids on the
was
Block
produced
animated
by Harvey
series.
Comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
know that. But yeah, they've got a lot of weird characters. These are weird, like, yeah, I don't know who anybody.
Oh my
else
gosh, there is a golden age, a silver age
of Harvey superheroes.
superheroes.
Oh,
So
But
interesting.
they're weird superheroes. They're very minor.
So like Harvey Comics never quite got to Hanna-Barbera status
No. Yeah.
of like hitting the culture.
Yeah, I feel like Casper and Richie Richard. That was it. That's their biggest claim to fame. Are those two properties?
yeah, nobody's really Herman and Catnip. Oh, Baby Huey. Okay,
Oh,
the
Baby
big duck.
Huey.
Baby
Okay,
Huey
all right,
is
that's
Harvey.
true. Forgot about Baby
I don't know.
Huey.
There's something about Baby Huey I didn't like as a kid, and I don't like it now. I don't like watching a
Last time I watched.
grown-up duck dressed as a baby. I don't know.
Yeah, and those were also part of on the same Casper tapes that you would get with the public domain,
Yeah.
like with 3 or 4 episodes. Yeah, Baby Huey was on there. That's
Yeah.
true.
Baby Huey,
And there
I'm
was-
drawing the line.
There was something about the Richie Rich cartoon that always was a little off-putting to me. I didn't like Irona, his robot maid.
That was weird.
That she kind of had a little Inspector Gadget to her. She could like turn into a car and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a little. It just a little Rosie from the Jetsons.
Yes.
It just seemed a little too much of that. Like I didn't think it was ever needed for Richie Rich.
Yeah, she was a little mega maid there, but so to me, I feel like I don't have a lot of memories of the Casper cartoon. I feel like that was a little like Heckle and Jekyll. Like it was a little like too old, too throwback.
Yeah.
And it didn't really get played a lot on TV here. Like I said, if they ever showed classic cartoons, it would be Looney Tunes or Tom and Jerry.
Yeah,
And, you know,
I would say the same for myself.
bigger
Yeah, and maybe throw in some Popeye in there.
Oh,
I
yeah,
would.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Popeye cartoons were definitely part of that.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's about it in terms of like the older cartoons.
It's always you had to seek it out.
Yeah,
Casper.
it's
You
always
have to buy
interesting
the
when
tapes.
something like Casper eclipses its source material. That when you
that's
ask
true.
whole generations of kids now,
Yeah.
they're going to go straight for the movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because at least they know, out of anyone in this movie, they're going to know who Christina Ricci is because of her body of work that she's done. And, you know, because she's done so many different sorts of things and, you know, a little bit of indie work. And, you know, of course, now with Yellow Jackets, like they're going to know her. They're going to know the movie because of her.
Yeah, absolutely. We just we finally wrapped up season 3 of Yellow Jackets.
Do you watch Yellow Jackets?
I sure do. Oh, you bet I do.
We
This
finally wrapped it up.
third
We're just-
season, I thought was a little inconsistent. I think it ends really strong.
It has a great ending. It was a little all over the place, and I'm curious to see what they do with season 4.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to get some? Are they going to tie things up? And could it be the end of Yellow Jackets and end on a high note?
Right.
Or are they going to jump the shark? And is it going to be like 3 more seasons?
I'd like to
I'm
see
very curious.
4 or 5 really good episodes and just wrap it up.
Yeah, I feel like they can wrap it up. I think we're there.
I like that we have a clear villain, which is Shauna.
Well, the first 2, I mean,
Yep.
no
Yeah.
spoilers, listeners. We're going to have to put in a spoiler alert at the beginning of the episode. The first 2 seasons, when I would talk to people about Yellow Jackets, I would just be like, fucking Lottie. And now after season 3, I'm just like, fucking Shauna. So
Yes. Yeah, they really they did a whole 180 on the whole
yeah.
thing. And just in terms of who you cheer for, who you hate, like it's
think
it's wild.
The writing has gone, I feel like, a little up and down, but I think these actors are really the ones that keep the show grounded.
Yeah.
And
I totally agree.
And I think especially Melanie Linsky and Christina Ricci are kind of like the standouts. I think Juliette Lewis was doing great work when she was on it, and it's just
I did too.
Yeah.
I thought they had such great chemistry, all of them, and they're just so committed to it, and they're so strong with what they do. Like it's like I am glued when I watch it.
Yeah.
They're fabulous.
Yeah, and it always kind of stuck in my craw about the casting of the adult characters was a little all over the place age wise. The range between Christina Ricci, Melanie Linsky, and Juliette Lewis is
pretty wild. I think Christina is 1980.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice that actresses or actors that were child actors when we were in grade school? It was always, when you look up their birth dates now, it's always 1980, 1981. Because I get it if, like,
That's a good point.
realistically,
That's true.
if you are working a child in major movies, you're going to want them old enough to kind of be capable. And at that time, it would have been, 1980, 1981, if you're making major movies in the 90s. Yeah.
I think when Christina Ricci did Mermaids with Cher, I think she was like 8.
Yeah.
I think, I feel like she was 7, maybe 8, right around there. And then it just, then the Addams Family was more preteen, and then Casper, she's more teenager in this, and same with Now and Then too. But you can just, literally, you watch her grow up.
Yeah.
But is like Juliette Lewis like 72?
She was born in 73.
73?
Yeah. 73?
That's a big age difference.
That's huge because, I mean, when she did Christmas Vacation, she would have been probably, 13, 14 in that? Like, that's, 14. And, like, I don't know.
And I think Melanie's around your age.
Melanie was born in 77.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
wow.
But
that's
a
big age discrepancy. But I guess they make, with Christina Ricci, how she looks in the series, like they make her to be a little, I think she's a little older. I mean, or maybe it's the glasses,
she's playing older. Yeah. I think, she's playing older. I think Melanie is in the middle and she's playing around the right age, and Juliette Lewis was playing younger than her age.
I think that sounds right.
I'd
agree.
It's so interesting because when Wednesday the series came around, it was like, great, Christina's back. I'd love to see her on my TV.
Well, and you know who she replaced, right? Do you know this? on Wednesday?
She replaced Thora Birch.
It was Thora Birch.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think that they even shot scenes with Thora Birch and they lost her. I think that she quit.
Okay.
And when you watch Christina's introduction, you can really tell, they just like shot Christina's sides in all of this. And they just edited her right in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I can't remember, or if there even was like a real reason why Thora Birch quit. I can't remember if I read it.
She just said family issues that she just had to leave.
Issues. Okay.
Yeah. But,
it's a treat that she's in it, Christina Ricci. I mean, it's nice for the fans.
Absolutely. It was great to see her there, but I did feel like that. I felt like, that wasn't a lot. And then we got Yellow Jackets. I was like, great. She's back.
Yes. Yeah. I think
she's back.
No, I don't know if she's going to be part of season 2. I don't think it would make sense for her to be
And Wednesday, probably.
No, I don't
not.
think so.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it was just the one season, which still, that's fine with me. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, great. And she, she's continuing to do good work. We love her, and she's doing some solid stuff here. I mean, she has a lot of scenes where she's not acting with anybody.
Yeah, she's a little hard on her performance in this movie, but I think I don't think it's that bad. I think she's pretty good.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these actors in this movie, they're interacting, or they had like tennis balls on strings, to try to act with. Like, that's hard, no matter how long you've been in the business for. Like, you can't. I would think, grain of salt. Like, give yourself some grace here. But she's very critical of this.
Maybe it was just a little bit more frustrating to make because of that. So she was just like,
yeah.
Because your experience doing something kind of colors how you remember it. So it's like she's probably just like, oh my god, never again. She doesn't do a lot of special effects like movies. So,
well, I mean, she had, Sleepy Hollow's pretty in camera too. That's true. Like, all that stuff was built on the set for Sleepy Hollow. Yeah. I mean, I think that Sleepy Hollow is really the turning point of her career.
I think so
where
too.
It's just sort of, maybe she didn't want to be this huge A-list actress, and she just kind of decided to step back a little bit and take smaller movies. Yeah,
and do more indie work, because Monster was a bit more.
Oh, she's so good in Monster too.
She's good in Monster, but it was it came more from the indie world, and then it became what it did. And winning the Oscars and everything. But that was like a far left turn for her in terms of her work. And she really went to a different place. But I think she's fantastic.
I mean, even the few years after Casper, of going from Casper to even something like The Ice Storm, that's that is some range of a child actor kind of doing two very different roles for young people. And then she did The Ice Storm, Buffalo 66, and The Opposite of Sex. I guess that's how you transition into not being a child star anymore.
Yeah.
Just kind of doing those three in a row.
She did it so well, and and she never got caught up. I mean, that I'm aware of. She was never in any real major wild publicity, with behavior or anything in Hollywood. She really just has always been so focused, kept her eye on the work, and just has grown. She's one of the rare ones.
Yeah, we never saw the Lizzie Borden miniseries.
They had a big following behind him, though. They did multiple of them. They did a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She also did a show on Amazon that I remember. The
Zelda Fitzgerald.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes, and she was great in that. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'm looking at her IMDb right now, and 10 episodes. I'm not familiar with that one at all. It looks like she also has done a little bit of voiceover work. She did a, I guess I don't know if you'd call it a podcast, but it was as a podcast, a scripted series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she did a Batman one, and she plays Harley Quinn.
Doesn't she voice Selena Kyle?
It's a Spotify original
on a Mac show too.
10 episodes.
I think she does. I think you're right.
Okay. So she's out there doing some work, man.
Yep. And she just got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame as well.
That's cool.
I wonder, do you know who presented it?
I can't remember. I know she had cast members from Yellow Jackets there. I know that for certain.
Okay.
But I can't remember who presented it to her.
Yeah. Scott, I know you like to play this one. Do we want to try and guess her most known for on IMDb?
Okay, I think we can both do this, Michael. I think
Michael, you're familiar with the IMDb most known for situation where everybody has their top 4 movies.
Oh yeah,
that IMDb places for, and there's no rhyme or reason as to what those 4 are.
Right. No, but it's just like that's what they say, and it's oh, okay, yes, but I do know what you're talking about.
So I have it up right now. If you guys don't look on IMDb, do you want to take a guess as to what her top 4 most known for movies are?
I'm going to guess Casper is there.
Pull up Christina Ricci.
This movie made a lot of money.
It did. I feel like Casper's got to be there, and I would say Addams Family Values. I think over the first one, maybe. Oh God, it's like that's tough. It's going to be one of them, for sure.
Casper is in fact on there.
I would say the original Addams Family is going to be there over it.
Maybe,
which one?
It might be.
Neither Addams Family is on her.
Wow.
Most known for.
Okay, Mermaids. I know is on Winona Ryder's. Is Mermaids there?
Yes, Mermaids is there.
Good.
Okay,
great movie.
So 2 down. Casper and Mermaids. You got 2 more.
I'm going to say something edgy like Buffalo 66 is there.
Michael,
I was
what do you think?
Yeah, something like that, opposite of sex,
like a cult
monster,
like a cult movie. Yeah,
yeah.
It's Buffalo 66.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
that makes
right.
sense.
So you have one more.
I hope it's not Speed Racer. That was bad. That was not a good movie.
But I was telling Pete last week.
It has a fan base.
It has a big cult following behind it.
It does.
When that is shown at the
does.
New Beverly, it sells out every single time.
You're kidding.
Yeah,
it does.
It has a big following behind it.
Oh, wow. Wow, I learned something new today. I did not know that.
Speed Racer could be there. I'm
So
trying to
maybe
think of
that
other.
could be the
I
fourth.
mean, Sleepy Hollow is a big deal in my mind.
Sleepy Hollow.
Minor
Yeah.
Tim Burton movie.
Yeah. It is not Sleepy Hollow.
It is not Sleepy Hollow. Okay.
Sleepy Hollow. Okay. Did we say it was Monster?
You
Is
guessed
it
Monster. It's not Monster.
It is not Monster.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's too bad for all of the award attention for Monster that wasn't really on the radar to nominate her for anything.
Yeah.
Even though she's
I don't think she
really
got
good in
any.
that movie, though.
Maybe a Golden Globe nom, but I don't know.
I feel like now she would get recognized, but
Now she would. Yeah, but now a fourth movie.
yeah.
It's not going to be Now and Then. Even though I love that movie, it's not that.
Scott, do you have anything?
I mean, is Speed Racer there?
It is Speed Racer.
It is Speed Racer?
It is Speed
Okay.
Racer.
It is. Oh my God.
She plays
That's-
Trixie,
wow.
right?
Does she? Yeah, she's Trixie in Speed Racer. Yeah. Kind of
Wow.
wild. Yeah, kind
It's
of
got
wild.
because of like you had said that it's gotten such a cult following. You know, maybe I'll rewatch it with different eyes now, knowing this, and just trying to look at it for that reason. Because when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh no,
I'm
not
with you. I try watching it, and I'm just like, it's just assaulting my eyes. There's so much.
I mean,
going
it's a
on.
pretty literal interpretation of the cartoon, too.
It is, yeah. No, I mean, it's kind of like similar in that of like Flintstones, where they really recreated that world, and it is true to that. You know, that is a good point with Speed Racer. But wow,
So
interesting.
I just
4
Googled
movies.
her Walk of Fame, and all I'm seeing is the cast of Yellow Jackets. So
That's all I saw,
I mean,
yeah.
and that usually how stars work is that they're usually doing press for something, and Paramount probably fronted a lot of that money for a star.
I
'Cause
bet they did.
that's just how stars work. Is that it's usually a studio thing, and they're
Mm-hmm.
tying it into something, and it looks like most of the cast of Yellow Jackets were there.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing the actress who plays like her younger counterpart was there, and they had like a picture together.
Okay.
I can't remember her name. She's fabulous in the show.
Yeah, Young
she's
Misty's really good. Yeah.
It was. I was watching on Conan O'Brien. Just had her on. Conan Needs a Friend, and she was talking about her process of that actress, and they're such different people that the younger Misty is just way more outgoing and bubbly, and Christina, I think, is a little more reserved. I think just being in the spotlight for that long, a little more reserved. I kind of like that she's a little salty in interviews, too. I kind of like that personality with her.
Christina
I
does
do
not
too.
hold back.
She does
in
not hold
interviews.
back. I mean, she
love
talks
it.
about the whole thing with the live song of
Yes.
just kind of getting in hot water for saying that she hates lightning crashes, and the band made a whole statement about it, and she's like, damn, I didn't know like this was going to be such a big deal. But she just kind of says of how different they are as people kind of lends itself to the character of Misty, especially who you are 30 years later
in high
for like
school.
something like that. Yeah.
I think it makes sense. I love watching her interviews, and it kind of like all the reason more why we love her, like growing up with her and then her work now. Like, we've always loved that edge that she just has. Like, naturally, she just has that in her personality. Like, one of the lines she says in Casper 2 when she's first, exploring the house and she sees the uncle's bedrooms and she reads the names and she goes, wonder where Doc and Dopey sleep. Yeah. Like, I was like, whoa, that is edgy as a kid. She just kind of always has that.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, getting back into Casper. I do want to talk. We love Christina.
We do.
I do want to talk about the Lazarus Machine. I do want to talk about the Lazarus Machine. I do want to talk about. Alex Proyas, the original director, drops out of this movie because he wanted to go a little bit darker. All of that. Her father falls into a open well and
yes,
I kind of always forget about it, and then it happens.
He accidentally unalives himself, falling into an open trench. That when you see construction, sometimes there'll be a sign that says "open trench," and usually it just means like a ditch, something that like your car might like get a little damaged.
Could go into,
Sure. Is he falling into a fault line or something?
A sinkhole.
Immediately outside of the bar, like it's right there,
the door of the bar, the exit.
Like, that is not smart, bar owner. No, what the hell?
Even the moments right before, Fatso, Stretch, and Stinky are fully going to murder him.
Also true. Also true. Yeah.
Yeah, because they want him to be part of the Brotherhood or whatever.
It immediately answers my question of when they had the ghost cartoon gun, if you can shoot somebody with it. Oh, no. They're packing real firearms when they're going to try to murder her dad.
Okay, early on in the movie when Casper and Kat first meet and she's like, "What are you made of?" and she asks him all these questions.
Oh, yeah.
And she says, "Can you hurt me?" And he says, "No." I was like, "Well, your uncles can hurt."
They're gonna kill your dad. Yes, they can hurt you.
I think
they can pick up a shotgun.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, maybe
and all the other weapons they had.
His ghostly form can't hurt her, but he can pick up real world objects and use them to kill her.
Yeah,
because that happens later on. Yeah. So the Lazarus Machine. It's this crazy Rube Goldberg. We're on this. It's giving a little bit Nothing But Trouble.
A little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in this like hideous dress that she's like, it's perfect. I'm like, oh my God, what?
Oh God, that the wedding dress, Victorian wedding dress,
if you
or
think
whatever.
That is perfect. I would love to see the dress that you originally thought you were going to buy with your dad's credit card.
Yeah. Oh, and even that joke where he's like, "Where was my credit card? In your wallet." I loved that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
The giant Visa on that credit card.
The giant,
it's the giant product placement. Yeah.
No numbers. I mean, that's how credit cards look now, but So there's this potion that who knows what's in it, who cares?
Well, and it addresses the tragic backstory of Casper, because guess what? When you're writing a feature script of Casper, you do have to address this is a ghost child
a dead
that
boy.
did meet an untimely end when he was 10 years old.
Yeah.
It just kind of goes with the material.
It does. And even like that scene where he's talking about what happened to him and how he got sick and how he died and everything, that's dark too. And being like, how did you die? What is dying like? That's dark.
Yeah.
For a children's movie? Yeah.
What does he say too? He says something.
It's like dying, but it's like being
born but
backwards.
But backwards. And I guess as a kid, sure, that makes sense. It sounds logical for a kid to comprehend,
So he died of influenza?
I get influenza, like a pneumonia sort of situation.
Yeah. Some old-timey disease, rubella.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, from being outside playing on the sled, he got a cold, got sick, and died.
The old scarlet fever. Just something old-timey. Mm-hmm. Good enough. Love it. Okay, so what? The old man Whipstaff made this Lazarus Machine to revive dead people.
He has this potion that you just put in.
Yeah. Who knows?
You just
what the
pull a
red,
leather. I don't
the
know.
red juice
Yeah.
in that thing, whatever it is. Who cares?
The MacGuffin of this
yeah,
plot.
It's a big
Yeah.
MacGuffin. But
Yeah.
I
It looks like a lava lamp kind of a
Yes.
thing.
Yeah. But like there's all this stuff. There's a big machinations of what's going down and Ghost Carrigan and all of that. But when we finally revive Bill Pullman, I'm like, that's it.
I know. But also, it's kind of crazy that the fact that there's still one left enough to bring someone back to life. And if his dad was trying and trying and trying, you would think if there was one left, that Casper would be alive.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, is that just me? Like how?
Well, I was thinking like
He needed
are they
someone
gonna go for the mom.
He needed
Like, what?
someone to operate the machine.
Yeah.
When he was inside it, and he never just had a person that he could.
Oh, that
do it with,
okay.
I think.
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
it.
Okay, there we go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay. But also, I was like, did they need Bill Pullman's corpse?
Yeah, we had questions about that, and then we're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, we are
that's a good point.
thinking way too hard on this."
Yeah.
Yeah, but you do kind of wonder, like, well, if we're bringing someone back to life, you need the vessel.
But like, is Bill
right?
Pullman's body just at the morgue in like a refrigerator?
Yeah. Where did it come from?
So
With this
did the machine-
magic voodoo?
No,
brings
no
the body
police
back-
officers are
Don't-
knocking on the door of Whipstuff Manor that your dad was just found dead at
And he's like,
at a
here,
construction
here
site.
I am.
Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy. All out of nowhere. And then he just comes back through, and it's, like the crawling out of that thing,
Yeah.
it's.
With cardigan and everything.
Yeah. As if nothing happened.
Because I'm like, does it? If it reanimates your body, that's one thing. Does it create a new body out of thin air? That's another thing. But now it's
another
the
thing.
clothes and the cardigan and all of that. And
Yeah,
like
not a
Scott
scratch
said,
on him.
The actual body that did die, now that's either in the bottom of the trench or in the morgue somewhere. So this is bringing up too many questions
Yeah.
we can't even answer. But,
No. But as a kid, you buy it. You're like,
Yeah. You're like,
You
this,
know.
Yes.
this totally checks out.
yeah.
yeah,
And-
absolutely.
yeah, and-
Of course it does.
And ghostly Carrigan's ultimate demise of just like no more unfinished business, so she gets
Right.
She
gets
just
to
had
cross over.
well, and she just had to convince herself that she finished what she was doing.
right,
Mm-hmm. Right.
They like trick her into like thinking, oh no, I'm done.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
And-
I would love to just be Ghost Carrigan and living in Whipstaff Manor. You don't have to pay bills.
yeah.
Just living as
I
this
think it'd be kind of
ghost.
fun.
No taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And even Eric Idle, like his monologue that he gives to her, and he says, "A bitch just like you."
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Edgy line. Yep.
whoa, that was edgy. But now as an adult, you're like, get her. It's
yeah.
good. But that was,
That-
for 1995 kids
Oh,
movie.
yes.
Whoa,
That-
He
that
called her a
was a
bitch.
line.
That big shot of Cathy getting out of the car and falling in off the cliff still kind of does it for me. It's funny.
It's great.
It's good.
Shocking,
It's
too. You don't see
You
it
what?
coming.
It's and how and that scream that she does with it, like,
oh my god, the scream is too much. I love it.
it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It really is.
So okay, we have to talk about TV's judging Amy.
Oh yes,
Amy Brenneman
Yep.
as Amelia.
Married to the
In a
director.
red dress.
Married to
Another
the director.
in a red dress.
Okay. First of all, Amy Brenneman can't play a character that's not named Amy or some sort of
So interesting.
variation of that.
Yeah.
Amelia. But
Yeah.
this red dress.
Uh-huh.
What is the thought process behind?
I
her
was
heavenly
wondering,
ghost?
do you think that they tried to do it in white and it just wasn't reading well on camera?
Yes.
So they had
It
to
could
do
have.
red.
I wonder too.
But I do kind
Like,
of wonder. It's
it's
like,
a choice.
where exactly was Kat's mom?
I know
If she's
because this
just
red
in this
dress,
in
it's
this
like,
red dress.
Yeah.
it makes no. Like, it's a beautiful dress. It's just it's weird for the character because like she's like this, comes down as like this angel from above sort of situation.
Yeah.
Wearing a dress that looks like Satan's mistress, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, agreed. And also, I think, Amy Brenneman is 10 years younger than Bill Pullman. So has she been dead for 10 years? She was a young
I think
woman.
Well, I mean, Kat has memories of losing, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
of when she's remembering her mom. It's kind of going away.
Sure.
So maybe she has been
dead for a while.
Yeah. I don't know.
She might, yeah, because she says she remembers things like her smell and coming downstairs the kitchen, the breakfast. So she could have been like a little girl of maybe like 4 or 5, perhaps.
Yeah, and the age gap would have been a little smaller. So we're getting Amy Brenneman, as a 25-year-old woman, from when she passed.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That tracks a little bit more.
I can buy it. I buy it. That makes sense.
Yeah. But the red dress, I don't know. I can't get past.
Kind of insane.
It's insane. It's a choice, and they made it. Yeah. I mean, and here we are. And then they have that. They do have that nice little scene together, but it's kind of weird how. When she's like, "Don't make her wear a T-shirt under her bathing suit."
I
and
have
all
a lot
these
of questions
things.
about
Our
that.
daughter's a teenager.
A T-shirt under the
bathing suit.
That's what he said. That's what she says. It's like,
says.
oh my God, that's awful. Who does?
Also, I want her to be like, bro, you need to get your shit together.
Yeah.
How many schools in 5 years?
Yeah. She should have a slap to the face, a wake up call. Like, what are you doing? Stop this.
You're scarring our child.
You're scamming people.
Yeah. You're ruining our child's childhood. Yeah. That's funny. I didn't realize Amy Brenneman was married to Brad Silberling.
Brad Silberling, such a tragic story with him too.
Well,
very tragic with his girlfriend and wife.
Oh, I don't know
80s.
about that. I thought you were talking about him being put in director jail.
So, his girlfriend was murdered.
Who was she?
She was.
Was she the girl from that sitcom?
Yeah,
that the boyfriend murdered
Rebecca.
her? No shit. His girlfriend was
I
Rebecca
have read about
Schaefer.
this, but-
Rebecca Schaefer. She was
about
murdered
Rebecca
by a
Schaefer.
stalker.
Yeah, I remember
in the
Rebecca
80s, and it was a big.
Right.
I mean, it kind like any stalker laws are kind of traced to that case. I mean, it's pretty much Rebecca and Dominique Dunn as kind of these two tragic figures.
Yeah, well, Dominique Dunn was domestic violence. This is domestic violence as well, but this is a stalker. I remember Rebecca Schaefer. I watched My Sister Sam. I know, I was old enough to watch the show that she was on, and so I have memories of.
They married each other.
They were married
young.
Oh,
yeah.
No, she was 21. Yeah.
Also, Moonlight Mile with Jake Gyllenhaal is sort of based on all of that, and he directed that. Jake Gyllenhaal and Susan Sarandon and Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about Brad Silberling being put in director's jail after.
Well, there's also that
after
Land of the Lost,
the failure of Land of the Lost. Yeah,
he was on the short list of directors that were almost given Harry Potter.
Oh my!
I think that it was between him and Chris Columbus.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine what that would have been.
We kind of got it with.
I was going to say his consolation prize was Lemony Snicket Series of Unfortunate Events. And
so
he was able to do that, but that famously didn't do great.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that it really turned a profit. It got some Oscar nominations.
Yeah. It's visually very cool.
Visually very cool to look at.
It's very cool, but it certainly didn't get the same.
They didn't do the follow-ups with it.
No, it not at all.
Yeah. And I mean, he got Meryl Streep and Jim Carrey. He got big people for Elf.
He
got big people for it. So
yeah,
I when I saw that movie, I was like, oh, I feel like this director, he's giving me a very he really wants to be like a Barry Sonnenfeld kind of I feel like he was really
absolutely
reaching for that Addams Family kind of vibe.
Well, he was given City of Angels right after this movie, which was kind of the unofficial remake of Wings of Desire. I think that we all kind of forgot what a huge hit City of Angels was in '98.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It gave us the Goo Goo Dolls song.
Yeah, man. Oh, wait, that song was.
I mean, I think that was just a Goo Goo Dolls song, and they just.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it was.
And it was just used for the movie, but it really did.
I feel like it
blow
was
the
released
song up
before that. Yeah, but it revived it.
Dizzy Up the Girl, I think, came out in '99. I think.
What is that?
That's Dizzy Up the Girl, the Goo Goo Dolls album.
Oh, the album, the Goo Goo Dolls album.
Yeah.
Sure. You're our resident Goo Goo Dolls historian, Scott.
Yes, I am.
I'll defer to you. I'll defer to you. But yeah, so I guess it makes sense then that that Amy Brenneman is here for this movie. I guess it's good that we see the mom and we have these moments with her.
Yeah,
maybe it's for the best that Kat does not see the mom.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want to scar this poor girl anymore of just
That's
having
true.
a 2-minute conversation with your mom.
but did she do Casper dirty by giving him the 10 o'clock curfew because he really only had like one song?
Yeah.
I mean, 10 o'clock. Come on.
I have to Shazam that song every single time I watch this movie.
It's
Remember
such
Me
a
This
good
Way.
song. Jordan Hill.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think that Jordan Hill has just been lost to time.
Yeah,
I think
I don't
so,
know
too.
whatever became of her.
yeah.
Couldn't tell you. I think she probably had one album. This was like the
It's-
lead single from it. Got
this
picked
is
up with the movie.
The most
all of that.
90s song ever recorded, too.
Yeah, and that's it. It's a beautiful song though, and it
It's
sets
good.
the moment. Like
Yeah.
it's a good song.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, it's good. It's well placed. It's a good moment in the movie. I know, it's Devon Sawa's big coming down the stairs, man. That's like what an intro. And I know little straight girls and gay boys across the land kind of like lost their minds.
Oh, we did. Our little hearts went pitter patter, you know.
For
And then
that
just
one.
when they go up in the air,
Oh.
and then she's holding on to him, you're like, yeah, I want to hold on to him too.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this is it. This is what dreams are made of. Yeah,
This
you
is
know.
what
Was
This
this,
is what it's
one
gonna
of
be like.
Was this one of Devon Sawa's first credits?
I'm not sure.
No,
I don't know.
he had done Little Giants.
Little Giants.
Okay, so
I
he
had
had
a
done
feeling
quite
that
a bit
came
of work
before.
before this.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
interesting.
that's a fun movie in its own right, Little Giants. That's a fun movie.
Yeah.
But I think he was like 15, 16 when he did Casper. Like he definitely looks younger than it. Like he appears to be younger than his actual age.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
And he looks a lot younger than he looks in Now and Then.
Oh my gosh, Wild America from 1997. This had all of them in it. This had
Oh
Jonathan
yeah.
Taylor Thomas, Devon Sawa, Scott Barstow, who I think is kind of canceled. I think that there's some like domestic violence
geez.
issues with Scott Barstow. But yeah, Wild America in 1997.
Yeah, that was another one.
I remember renting that.
Yep. That did it for all of us too.
Yeah.
That movie.
Yeah. But it's so funny that, Devon Sawa is so tied to this movie, Casper, and it's really just this moment.
It's just this moment and just that line, "Can I keep you?" Like that has followed him
Yeah.
throughout his whole career.
I think that he said that he gets asked a lot if he used that as a pickup line. And he's like, no,
Come on.
because that's
No.
weird.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 12, or the character's 12, he's 16. Like that's weird, But I know he does do Comic Cons, and he does, and he does signings and things like that. And I'm sure people are like, "Can you say it? Can you say it?"
Can you just write
or
this
like,
on my 8x10?
Yeah.
I'm sure of it, But it's his legacy. It's
Yeah.
part of his legacy. It really is.
Yeah. Absolutely. But we love that these two are kind of having this moment as adult actors, and people kind of having all of this background as being a kid. But
I forgot that he was on Hacks. Gene Smart gets to like hook up with him on Hacks.
oh shit, I
That's
didn't
right.
remember
Yes,
that.
in
Yeah.
season 2. I think it's in season 2 because I love Hacks.
So like
That's
she got in on that like
Yeah.
Devon Sawa. I love that.
Good for her.
Good for her.
I know, yeah, really, yeah. She's so good in that show. But yeah, she got to have a good old time with him.
Yeah, we're loving Hacks. We're all caught up with the new season. It's great.
Oh, it's so good. Oh my God, when she
funny.
hit her head on that cage in the newest episode. Oh, I was dying. It was
Yeah.
so funny.
And not us being like, I don't know if you can get your car out of an impound lot in Los Angeles in the middle of the night.
Not on the night of.
You're gonna
I
have
was
to
gonna say,
have to go back on like Monday morning.
None of that was real. None of that felt real. Like, what? And then you just have this swinger couple being like, yeah, we'll take you there.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God, yeah.
oh,
What is
bizarre.
but what does she say about the poppers that they were unintentionally like administered?
Yeah.
It's so
You did
funny.
poppers? Oh my God. Yeah, so good. But yeah, I mean Devon Sawa, he had his moment with the Chucky series.
And they wrote him like they killed a character, but they just liked Devon, so they just kept writing roles for him, which I love that idea.
He played his
I
own
do too.
twin.
Yeah.
He played his own twin. That guy got killed off. He played another character that had no relation. Just like
They just kept bringing him back.
looks like
it was
him.
great.
Love
Which,
it.
What also goes to show, I mean, to work with him as an actor, he must be so great to work with, and just to have on set, what a team player. I mean, that's the kind of relationship you want in this business.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, he looks great. He looks better than ever.
Oh, secret Canadian. How do you like that? He's from Canada.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. He's Canadian. He's also, I mean, he's a big ally for the LGBTQ plus.
Yeah,
I mean, and he speaks on it very often. Like, he really rallies for the community, and he's just a nice guy. He's raising his family. It's just, he's doing all the things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I haven't seen Idle Hands in years.
Idle Hands.
Not since it came out.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I couldn't tell you the last time I watched it. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
We're doing a Final Destination rewatch. We need to watch Final Destination 2 because he's in the opening scene of that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's one of his, like, another one where he's known for that too. Just that little bit there.
Yeah, that's true. He has quite a few things that are really like, you can latch onto. If you don't know him from one thing, you know him from something else.
That's a good table to have at a comic book convention too.
Yeah. Oh, he's going for top dollar. He's not going for no $40.
No, he can go for that top dollar.
I would pay $50 for a picture with him.
Yeah, no, I think his meet and greets have to be more than 50.
Yes, and I would probably be one of those people that would be like, "Can you write? Can I keep you in the the to Michael on my 8x10?" I'd want that.
Oh yeah, I mean, not for nothing, Mr. Devon Sawa is pushing 47, I think, and his that bod is like
looks great.
Yeah, the bod is
looks
bodying
incredible. I don't know what his workout regimen is. I don't know what his diet is.
Yeah,
but I'm thankful that he's doing it because wow. And he's got the tattoos and with the chest hair. It's just, Canada. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling
sign
you.
me up.
Yeah, and for one scene of this movie, here we are 30 years later, still yammering on about him. So
it's true, but I love but you can talk about it with anybody that grew up with the movie, and it's the first thing people will talk about is that scene.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
having a crush on human Casper.
Yes, a lot of us had crushes on human Casper. We sure did. And then, and even with the CGI then too, like the technology when they're sharing the kiss and then it goes back to Casper Ghost, like that was a lot. That was probably a couple million went into that to make that happen.
Yes.
Not an easy moment to make.
For sure.
This came out the same day as Braveheart. How do you like that?
Mel Gibson was just everywhere.
That's some counter programming there.
Wow. Mm-hmm. We got Braveheart. He got Braveheart and Casper on the same day. That's
interesting. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh boy. All right, let's see. What else do we have before we got to wrap this bad boy up, because we're just about at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I did like I said,
I think there's some third act problems of the story.
Yeah.
That I think this just movie ends that I have questions about. So is Kat and her dad just going to live in Whipstaff?
Sure.
Right.
Who's going to inherit the estate now that Carrigan is no longer here?
Carrigan's next of kin.
Yeah.
Carrigan's dead. Dibbs, the lawyer, clearly moved on. He
is in the ocean somewhere because she throws him out the window.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Right. So he's out of the picture.
I mean,
we got closure with the mom.
Can we just bring in Ben Stein for one quick scene about who ends up owning the property? I don't know.
I'd love to know. Yeah, I don't know. But it does, because then all of a sudden it's like she kisses him, they all scream and run away, and then we get Little Richard's version of the theme song. Like, that's how it all ends. That's it. And you're like, wait, what? That is so jarring.
Maybe they tried writing scenes like this and they're just like, I don't know.
It's fine.
Have him be dancing to Casper the Friendly Ghost at the end of the movie credits.
Right.
Not the Little Richard version.
The Little Richard version. And I just want to know what studio exec went, let's get Little Richard. I mean, that's...
Did Little Richard have a moment in the 90s? I mean, he was on Hollywood Squares.
He had a moment more, I would say so, more in the late 80s, early 90s.
Because of Mother Goose Rock and Rhyme.
But just because of a lot of things. He was just having a little...
kooky personality.
Yeah.
Just invited to the premiere of like Purple Rain. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun choice,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's it's a fun little version of the song. It is.
I think third act problems just goes back to the fact that they're just like, it's a kids movie.
Yeah,
we don't really need to go that deep.
Right. They don't need to tie things up because the one storyline that we all wanted as kids was the Casper and Kat. We got that.
Right.
We got the mom thing.
Yeah.
I guess as kids you're like that. We gave it to them. There you go.
Dad's back alive.
It's going to be. I also love this movie. Just doesn't really care about bringing people back from the dead. It's like, meanwhile, you watch like an episode of Buffy, and they're like, "Oh, we can't do that."
Yeah,
it's like we can do a lot of crazy stuff on this show with vampires, but when you're dead, you're dead, and you're not
dead.
coming back.
No,
right. But in Friendship, Maine, no, we will bring you back to life.
We got that
absolutely,
Lazarus Machine, Mama.
And even the catchphrase with the movie with the poster, "Get an afterlife." You know what I mean? Like,
oh boy.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's just so funny.
Yeah.
It really is. But I still love it.
I know.
And
I was going to say.
I still watch it.
Yeah, this is my 4th or 5th log on Letterboxd for this movie in the last 4 years. So
That's
I clearly
amazing.
revisit this at least once a year.
Yeah, once a year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I watch it probably twice a year. I want to say, of course, during October, it's on my list for Halloween movies, and then it's just another random point because it's just a fun, silly movie to get lost in for an hour and a half.
Absolutely.
We all need that escape, you know.
It's in our digital downloads on our Apple Movies. So
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
and also this is something we haven't touched upon, but James Horner doing the score for this movie, the music is beautiful.
Yep. He went hard on the score.
Yeah,
this is our second James Horner score back to back, Pete.
Oh, okay.
Because we just did Troy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It really
I was thinking about that too as we were watching.
It's haunting. It really. There's some good music in this movie, unexpectedly.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think for I keep saying for a kids movie, I think people really kind of went above and beyond and didn't just kind of rest on the okay, this is just for the little ones, that,
right? Because it could have been hokey music. It could have been more of like a sitcom level kind of 90s. The music could have been that, but the music is very much a character in its own way for this film. I feel.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you get James Horner, you're going to get a good.
Yeah,
you're going to get a good score.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. So, I think they really went out of their way to kind of accommodate for the grown-ups that are going to be watching this to not just have to begrudgingly sit through
go
90
along
minutes.
Suffer with it. Yeah, there's enough for adults at that time. I mean, I'm sure my parents watched this with me. I'm sure they did, or at least walked in on me watching it and caught bits and pieces of it,
Yeah.
They watched it.
Was
to a
your
certain
VHS?
extent.
Was the VHS a clamshell?
It was a clamshell.
It was a clamshell. You bet.
Love it. Love it. Nothing doesn't get more 90s than a big clamshell.
It was
and that smell from the plastic. That I can still smell that, which I know sounds crazy, but I know it.
Yeah. This and Little Rascals and on heavy rotation in our household, both Universal movies.
Oh my God, I had that clamshell too. Sure did.
Both kid movies that felt like proper studio movies.
Yes.
Is that even something that you even see anymore? Yeah. Is major Hollywood movies with big budgets that are for children?
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm not counting stuff like animation, too.
Right. But even in Little Rascals, look at the cameos in that movie, too. Yeah. They got some big names for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You had Reba. She was a race car driver. It was great.
Oh my gosh. What is Reba's name? What is Reba's character name?
It's a boy name.
It is AJ Ferguson. And I'm thinking of how Spanky reads it off. AJ Ferguson. Yeah.
Ferguson. Yeah. And they can't believe that their favorite driver is a woman. What? That's wild.
This is our Little Rascals tangent because I feel like we'll probably never do Little Rascals on our show. There are shots of Little Rascals that when I revisit that movie now, that I'm just where in Los Angeles did they get this shot? Yeah. Of where is this clubhouse that overlooks downtown? It has to be by all of those old mansions on the top of the hill.
Well, those mansions are gone now. There's nothing.
Is it by Dodger Stadium? I don't know. But there are some cool shots of that movie.
Yeah, where did and when they did the blur and racing all of that, where's all of that?
Yeah.
Well, they're Alfalfa's running around naked very close to us because that is by the library in South Pasadena.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Where him and they're thrown out of the ballet recital by Leah Thompson. That's an old building in South Pasadena.
Yeah, it's by your house.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Another great cameo in that movie. Like
Yes.
that movie's just got a ton. Whoopi Goldberg being Buckwheat's mom.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's crazy.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, we could go on and on about
We
Little
could.
Rascals. We love it. But we should wrap up Casper. Michael, this was a ton
Michael,
of fun.
thank you so much. And I want you to talk about this because you pointed it out on the last call that I did. What is right behind you right now for our listeners that cannot see you visually? Can you describe what is behind you?
They're costumes that Rue McClanahan wore on the Golden Palace. That's her. The purple one is her Christmas outfit that she wore on the Christmas episode, and the pink and orange is from the episodes when B. Arthur guest starred, and they were all reunited. So those are some of my favorite items in my collection.
That I don't like Golden Palace as a Golden Girls watcher, but I love that you have those though.
Thank you. They bring me a lot of joy.
I love that.
Absolutely.
This was so much fun. Thank you guys for having me. This was such a blast. And like to just really do a deep dive on one of my favorite movies. This was so much fun for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, this was a ton of fun for us. Thank you so much. We'd love to have you on again in the future. You're more than welcome to come back.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
Awesome. All right, well, listeners, don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Stick around. We are back, listeners. Thank you again for sticking around to the very end.
Special thanks to Michael. Fun guest. We'll have to have him back on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Michael, for being a guest on the show and for helping us choose Casper as our episode.
So I'm looking through my notes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention something.
Sure.
That Spielberg saw that this director, Brad Silberling, had directed some episodes of Brooklyn Bridge.
Okay.
Do you remember Brooklyn Bridge?
I remember the name of the show, but you're going to have to help me out.
An American sitcom series that ran on CBS between September of 91 to August of 93. It's about a Jewish family living in Brooklyn in the mid-50s. The premise was partially based on the childhood of exec producer Gary David Goldberg. It won a lot of Emmys. It stars Marion Ross from Happy Days, right?
Okay, yeah. Mrs.
Cunningham and Jenny Lewis. Young Jenny Lewis. So interesting. This is one of those shows that, I mean, it got two seasons.
This show is like
so it didn't quite go into syndication.
Joel Gray.
I'm seeing that it won some Emmys. It won Outstanding Comedy Series in 92.
What?
It got a Golden Globe nomination for television or musical. But yeah, one of those shows that has been like forgotten to time.
Yeah, I don't really have
interesting
a memory of
But yeah,
this.
this is
I wonder
what,
if it was a single camera sitcom.
Yeah, and this is what got
So this got Brad
This is
kind
what
of
got
noticed.
Brad
Okay.
The Casper directing job.
Okay, work.
But yeah.
I wonder if this was like a single camera sitcom. Like this wasn't like filmed in front of a live studio audience kind of a thing.
I don't know. I mean, it's classified in the genre on Wikipedia as sitcom / comedy.
So is Dream On and Sex and the City.
Yeah,
so.
and I guess that you could technically call Modern Family a sitcom too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
just kind of interesting. I've never really heard of the show. I do see that it did get a DVD release. Oh, actually, just kidding. I think that there's rights issues with this. It says DVD delayed indefinitely.
Indefinitely. So Brad Silberling directed a few episodes?
Yeah, there's a bootleg edition on YouTube. Yeah.
Sure.
I kind of want to check this out now.
He directed 3 episodes.
This sounds like a sitcom version of Annie Hall, all of the flashbacks when he's a child.
Oh, is that what it is?
I mean, they're not living underneath a roller coaster, but...
Right. Well, that's another one. Mm-hmm. That's Radio Days.
But yeah.
Interesting.
And kind of interesting. Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of... I remember the title. I thought I remembered the title, but now it's not really coming to me. In 91 through 93, that was like prime TV watching time for me. So, yeah, not sure. But that's a fun little tidbit for the end here. But at any rate... I think right now, since we're going to bring this to a close, I think it's about that time.
Patreon shout-outs?
Let's hear them. Shout-outs. I want to say a great big thank you and hello to all of our wonderful patrons. Head over to Patreon and check us out. Just like our friends Leah, Megan, Rachel, Kelsey, Andrew, Stephen, Vanessa, Leah, SB, Brian, Sarah, Richard, Mark, Amy, Erica, Anna, Mitchie, our friends at Hetty Drew podcast, Andy, Kate, Pep, Roberto, Daisy, Kelly, Chrissy, Stephen, Laura, Thomas, Lori, Brenna, Jess, Lawrence, Lisa, Alexis, Thomas, Millie, Ted, Benny, Melanie, Susan, Paul, Jamie, Drew, Genevieve, Dawn, Josh, Aaron, Nick and Shannon, Christine, and Rufino. You guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being patrons. Head over to patreon.com/movies that made us gay to check out all of our fun and exciting supplemental and additional features.
We're
recording one right after
going to be recording one right after we finish closing out this Casper episode. We are going to be talking about Boy Meets World for our television episode.
TV that keeps us gay over at the $5 level. Talk about a new TV show each month. And we did a summer series last year talking about 90210. We did an entire season of Drag Race All-Stars.
We're still kind of thinking about what the summer series is going to be this year.
Yeah, we're gonna do.
We have some ideas.
We're gonna do some fun stuff for the summer. We'll share with you soon when we decide on that. But that's coming up. That's at the $5 level. TV that keeps us gay for $10 a month. You can get all of that. Plus, you can get our Watch of This commentary tracks. We watch a movie, we record a commentary as the movie is playing, and we give you instructions on how to sync up our audio track with, a personal copy, streaming copy of the movie, so our audio is going on as the movie's playing.
This last month, we watched the first half of It.
Yes,
the TV miniseries.
The TV miniseries from the 90s. So this is, we usually do movies on at the $10 level for the commentaries.
Movie, sort of.
But yeah, we
It's
watched the first half. We're going to watch the second half, another hour and a half, and finish that up very shortly. So that's over at the $10 level. You get that along with all of the TV stuff. So patreon.com, there's a lot of fun stuff going on over there. Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love it if you would subscribe, rate, review the show. If you're on Apple Podcasts or
Give
Spotify,
us 5 stars.
Yes, give us 5 stars and write a review, and we'll read a review on the end of an upcoming episode. So thank you so much for if you've written a review, and if you haven't, open up your iPhone, open up the podcast app, and write a review.
Give us 5 stars.
Come on. Yeah, you can follow us on socials. We're at Movies That Made Us Gay on Instagram. We're most active there. Lots of fun stuff happening on Instagram in the comments. Subscribe to or follow us on Instagram, like everything, repost, share, comment, forward things to other people, all of that stuff. All that engagement really helps us reach a wider audience. So we love it when y'all do that.
Yeah, you can also follow our personal socials. I'm Scott Youngballer on Instagram, and follow my letterbox.
Yes, indeed. Scott's letterbox is on a pop and everything that we're watching lately, and it might give you insights into what we're doing on an upcoming episode. And I am at Peter Lasagna on Instagram. So I think that's it for Casper.
We'll see you soon.
See you next time. Bye, everybody.